Kopidana Balaba Grivadari Jaya Grivadari Sodanandana Rajadana Ranjana Jaya Brajadana Ranjana Sodanandana Rajadana Ranjana Jaya Brajadana Ranjana Sodanandana Rajadana Ranjana Jaya Brajadana Ranjana Yamunadira Varachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamunadira Varachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Kopidana Balaba Grivadari Jaya Grivadari Kopidana Balaba Grivadari Jaya Grivadari Sodanandana Rajadana Ranjana Radha Jana Ranjana Sodanandana Radha Jana Ranjana Jaya Radha Jana Ranjana Yamuna Dhiravarachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamuna Dhiravarachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharne Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskatyade Satarne Om Agyana Tivarandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chaksurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagurajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Dham Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shiva Sakansitam Cha Hey Krishna Karna Sindho Dinabandho Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishubhanu Sudha Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpa Trubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patidanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranityananda Shadvaiti Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 12, Dhruva Maharaj goes back to Godhead, Text 44. Maitreya Uvacha Etate Bihitam Sarvam Yat Prishtoham Iha Tvaya Dhruvasyo Dhamma Yashasas Charitam Samatam Satam Maitreya Uvacha Etate Bihitam Sarvam Yat Prishtoham Ihatvaya Dhruvasyo Dhamma Yashashas Charitam Samatam Satam.
Maitreya Uvacha Etate Bihitam Sarvam Yat Prishtoham Ihatvaya Dhruvasyo Dhamma Yashashas Charitam Samatam Satam.
Ladies. Maitreya Uvacha. The great sage Maitreya said, Etat, this, te, unto you, abhihitam, described, sarvam, everything, yat, what, prishta, aham, I was asked, iha, here, tvaya, by you, Dhruvasya, of Dhruva Maharaj, Udama, greatly uplifting, Yashasha, whose reputation, Charitam, character, Samamatam, or Sammatam, approved, Satam, by great devotees. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, whatever you have asked from me about the great reputation and character of Dhruva Maharaj, I've explained to you all in detail. Great saintly persons and devotees very much like to hear about Dhruva Maharaj. Please repeat. The great sage Maitreya continued. My dear Vidura, whatever you have asked from me about the great reputation and character of Dhruva Maharaj, I have explained to you all in detail. Great saintly persons and devotees very much like to hear about Dhruva Maharaj. Purport. Srimad Bhagavatam means everything in relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whether we hear the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Lord, or we hear about the character reputation, and activities of his devotees, they are all one and the same. Neophyte devotees simply try to understand the pastimes of the Lord and are not very interested in hearing about the activities of his devotees. But such discrimination should not be indulged in by any real devotee. Sometimes less intelligent men try to hear about the rasa dance of Krishna and do not take care to hear about other portions of Srimad Bhagavatam which they completely avoid. There are professional Bhagavata reciters who abruptly go to the Rasa Leela chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam as if other portions of the Srimad Bhagavatam were useless. This kind of discrimination and abrupt adaptation of the Rasa Leela pastimes of the Lord is not approved by the Acharyas. A sincere devotee should read every chapter and every word of Srimad Bhagavatam. For the beginning verses describe that is the ripened fruit of all Vedic literature. Devotees should not try to avoid even a word of Srimad Bhagavatam. The great sage Maitreya therefore affirmed herein that the Bhagavatam is sammatam satam, approved by great devotees. Maitreya vacha etat te bhitam sarvam yat prishtoham ihatvaya druvasyo dhamma yashashas charitam sammatam satam. The great sage Maitreya continued, "My dear Vidura, whatever you have asked from me about the great reputation and character of Dhruva Maharaj, I have explained to you all in detail. Great saintly persons and devotees very much like to hear about Dhruva Maharaj." Namo Vishnu Vidaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswatam Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shnivadi Paskyatyade Satarane. It's said that there are two pastimes that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu liked to hear again and again. One were the pastimes of Prahlad Maharaj, and the other were the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj. Now, if it was good enough for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to hear again and again, I think it should be acceptable for us to hear about also. The problem is that without spiritual consciousness, without spiritual senses, then we won't be able to understand actually what is being spoken in Srimad Bhagavatam in a very deep way. We can only accept it superficially. Prabhupada mentions here in the purport, Nigama Kalpatra Galitambalam Sukhamukha Drava Samyutam Pibata Bhagavatam Amala Ilam Muhura Mahur Bhuvikaha, that the Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of all the Vedic literatures, and it's been touched by Shukadeva Goswami, just like a parrot touches some ripened fruit and it becomes more sweet. Nigama Kalpa Tarar Galitam. Nigama means the desire tree, Tarar is tree, Nigama is the Vedas, Nigama Kalpa Tarar Galitam. It's the ripened fruit of all the Vedic literatures. So the Vedic literatures, we know, they tell us about Krishna. Vedaischa savaraham eva vedyo, Vedanta krid veda vid eva jaham. That Krishna is known by the Vedas. The idea of reading the Vedas or studying the Vedas is to understand Krishna. But without being on the spiritual platform, one cannot understand Krishna. Although we're being presented the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is about Krishna, one may think, well, I already know Krishna. Although one cannot know Krishna unless one is actually past the state of liberation. But we're given an opportunity to come to the platform of liberation by associating with Krishna through hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. But if we think just because we have the opportunity to hear about Srimad Bhagavatam, therefore we automatically know Krishna, then we might get ourselves into difficulty. Especially, Prabhupada mentions here that one may think all these pastimes of Krishna killing demons, it's very disturbing. It's not really our Krishna. Sometimes the commentators on Srimad Bhagavatam, or even they say, oh, this is actually not the Krishna that we're dealing with. Krishna dancing with the gopis is the real Krishna, and these other Krishnas we don't really have anything to do with. The ones who fight on battlefields and things like that, that's really not Krishna. That's Vasudeva Krishna. It's not really Krishna. So by such discrimination, one doesn't really understand the quality of Krishna. As Krishna says, Yesham antikatam papam, jananam punya karmanam, te dvanva mohanirmugdva, bhajante mam drida vrataha. That those who have practiced those who have given up sinful activities and practice piety for many lifetimes become free from the duality of delusion, and they can engage themselves in my service with determination. So generally, as Prabhupada writes in the purport, there are persons who are sinful, or are foolish and sinful, deceitful, and atheistic. So these correspond to the four duskritas, the mudhas, the naradamas, the maya pritigyanas, and the asuram bhavam ashrityas. So they never even bother hearing about Krishna. Now there are others who may want to hear about Krishna, but if they don't hear from the right source, with the right attitude, then they misunderstand Krishna. Just like I've told that story, there was one lady had one goat. You know that goat? Her name was Radha. And Radha, one day she died, her goat died. So she was very despondent and was crying, so she decided to take a week off and go to a Bhagavad Saptaha. So she went to the Bhagavad Saptaha, and there was the reciter of the Bhagavad Saptaha, and he had a beard that looked exactly like her goat's beard. So throughout the whole week, the Bhagavad reader was talking about Radha, Krishna. So whenever she heard the name of Radha, she remembered her goat and began to cry. And whenever she looked at the Bhagavad Saptaha reciter, she saw his beard and reminded her of her goat, and she began to cry. So all week long during the Bhagavad Saptaha, she was constantly in tears, remembering her dear beloved goat who had died. So at the end of the week, the Bhagavad Saptaha reciter came before the audience, thousands of people, and offered obeisances to this lady, saying, "Oh, great lady, you're such an advanced devotee. Please tell us some words of wisdom. How did you come to such a high level of Krishna consciousness that you're always in ecstasy remembering Radha and Krishna?" So she explained before the audience that actually the reason why I was crying is because I had this beloved goat, her name was Radha, and she recently died. And whenever this man was talking about Radha, I remembered my goat, and immediately would become very sorrowful and start to cry. And besides that, this man has a beard that looked exactly like my goat's beard. So whenever I look at him, I remember Radha, my goat, and I begin to cry. So similarly, by association, we may hear these pastimes of Krishna, and we remember, as it says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, one Barba, he had his wife, her name was Radha. And whenever he heard about Radha in the Bhagavatam, he remembered his lusty pastimes with his wife. So that doesn't mean that he was hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, the 10th canto, for such a person has any advantage. Actually, it has a disadvantage. In Los Angeles, around 1975 or so, when Prabhupada was there, they were telling them that the devotees had created two different groups, who were later nicknamed as the, what do they call that? Something Krishna. The Gopi Bhava Club, yes, the Gopi Bhava Club. So, the devotees were explaining to, the leaders were explaining to Prabhupada that they only read from your books about Radha and Krishna. They had a men's Gopi Bhava Club and a women's Gopi Bhava Club. And they just hear a Gopi Bhava, about Gopi Bhava. And then Prabhupada's immediate inquiry was, are the men wearing saris yet? And they said, no, they're not yet. And then there were different arguments that they were using, and one of the arguments is that it says in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, if one hears the pastimes of Krishna with the gopis, then whatever impurities within one heart remain will become purified and one will attain love of God. So they use that as one of their arguments why they should just hear about Radha and Krishna. So Prabhupada said they won't become purified, they'll become putrefied. Since that they'll become degraded. Because it is not just a question of hearing, it's a question of what we're actually remembering. If we don't remember Krishna, even in the right mood of devotion, then it's not purifying, it's actually degrading. There are 3 stages of chanting the holy name. One is Namaparad, one is Namabhas, and the other is Shuddhanam, Bhavanam, Premanam. So the Mayavadis, they chanted Namaparad, because when they chant Hare Krishna, they don't remember Krishna, they remember their conceptions. And the more they remember their conceptions, the more they become degraded. Similarly, when we chant Hare Krishna, it says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, if we don't have the right knowledge, and we remember the wrong things, then we don't become purified, we become degraded. Instead of watering the creeper of devotion, we water the weeds of anarthas and aparads. After all, Krishna is not really, when we're chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna is not appearing before us in the form of our past sinful activities. So if that's what we remember when we chant Hare Krishna, we're not becoming elevated by chanting Hare Krishna, we're actually making offense. It's called offensive chanting, or Namaparad. So therefore one has to chant Hare Krishna in the right way, so that the right remembrances come, that we remember Krishna. And even if some other remembrance comes, then we should try to hear the name of Krishna, even if we don't remember Krishna's forms, or even we can't feel his presence. At least we should take shelter of Krishna, rather than think, oh, now some remembrance is coming, let me follow it. It's such a nice opportunity. Not only I'm becoming purified by hearing the holy name, but I'm enjoying my past sinful activities. Mentally, I'm enjoying my past sinful activities. What a great opportunity. So that's also considered sin on the strength of chanting. It may not be as grave as actually going out and committing sin, but it's also a kind of committing sin on the strength of chanting. And instead of elevating us, it degrades us. So inattentive chanting is also the main impediment for advancing in Krishna consciousness. So similarly, if we hear this Srimad Bhagavatam and we don't appreciate it, it's almost like Krishna is right there before us. Of course, we're accustomed to that. if we're not accustomed to paying attention when we're chanting Hare Krishna, we're accustomed to neglecting Krishna. It's not a big thing for us to read Srimad Bhagavatam, and after reading it, we go back and someone asks us, what did you just read? We have a hard time remembering which book I just read. Because we read it, and we look over the verse, we read it, but our minds and ourselves are in some other galaxy somewhere. And therefore, when it comes time to chant Hare Krishna, we don't have the spiritual intelligence that we're supposed to actually chant and listen. Nor do we feel embarrassed. If we're not chanting and listening, we look around and say, well, at least I'm awake. Everyone else is asleep. I'm actually an advanced devotee here. So we have to develop the tendency to actually chant and listen and not let our minds be carried away by any kind of topic other than chanting. Of course, it's difficult, but if we chant carefully and attentively, then gradually we'll be able to at least distinguish between when I'm paying attention and when I'm not paying attention. Otherwise, we're not even aware when we're not paying attention, because we never pay attention, so it's all the same. There's no difference. And once in a while we hear the holy name and we go, oh, that's what I'm doing. Hare Krishna. Something about Krishna, that's interesting. So similarly, we have to read Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. That's why Prabhupada understood that we probably wouldn't do it unless we had a regular class in the morning and the evening. Sometimes we find devotees, they say, oh yeah, I don't chant japa anymore because I always remember Krishna. I'm always Krishna conscious. And I once every 2 years I come to Janmashtami just to prove it. In case anyone is doubting. So the point is that in our imaginations we can think anything, but practically speaking we have to test and what is our actual level of Krishna consciousness by how well we can actually chant. And that can be judged by even not only how much we're paying attention, but what we're actually remembering and experiencing when we're chanting. If we're not hearing attentively, then we have some room to make in learning attentive hearing, and also attentive chanting, that we have to chant and try to listen to our chanting so we can improve it. We should learn what we're trying to improve, that we're chanting to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His internal energy, and that they're personally present. It's not some ordinary people, just some sound vibration. Hare Krishna is not the force that's being bestowed upon us. It's Srimati Radharani and Krishna. And if we don't feel a little appreciative or humble or something, then we're not going very far. At least we're chanting, which is good, and that will inspire us to chant some more. But unless we have some appreciation for what we're doing, some understanding basically, then we won't feel embarrassed the fact that we're not chanting out of love. We think, yeah, I'm so good, I'm just chanting. Nothing much is going to come from it, but I'm a good person, therefore I'm chanting. That we're not expecting to be in ecstasy, we're not expecting to realize Radha and Krishna. To a certain extent, we have little expectations. We just want to get our rounds done. So that's not very good. We should actually understand and appreciate what a great opportunity at every moment we have to chant Hare Krishna. And then Krishna will be inclined to reveal Himself. Otherwise, He's not going to disappoint us by revealing Himself and destroying our material illusions, which we're so much attached to. We can theoretically understand Krishna as God, Krishna and His name are not different, but if He actually revealed to us, then we'd actually have to realize it and we'd have to surrender. But unless we want to surrender, He's not going to reveal Himself to us. Similarly, when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we may say, oh, this is all exaggeration, happened so many billions of years ago, it's not true anymore. You know, a story about someone sitting in a forest, fasting probably to death. I'm surprised he didn't die. His mother would have she would have broken his fast. Dhruva, you're going to die. Stop, eat something more than falling leaves, Did I teach you this when I... Did you test the water before you drank it? So we may think anything. Sure, a little boy was thrown over a mountain and he survived. Right, sure. Big elephant stomped on him. Right, sure. What else? Oh, he was fed poison. Surprised some half man, half bird didn't fly in and save him. So we may think, unless we hear attentively and try to understand what our inabilities are and why we have these inabilities, and become a little humble because of it, then we'll misunderstand. We'll think there's something wrong with the Bhagavatam, rather than something wrong with the Bhagavatam reader, namely myself. So that we have to get enough intelligence to understand what our actual position is, and then we can actually make some progress in realizing the Bhagavatam. So I'll stop there. Thank you. Any question? Yes?
How do we get this intelligence? How do we develop it?
Hearing. Did you get a little bit more intelligence by hearing the class? The problem is we forget, therefore everything is recorded. We have these books, so we should hear regularly this kind of philosophy so that we understand how we should read and what kind of attitude we should read in and perform devotional service, not only just reading, just our very lives. We're walking around in a bubble of illusion, and we walk right outside this temple here, and immediately the bubble, there it is again. We think, wow, I almost became Krishna conscious. Boy, that was close. My material life is almost spoiled. Is that all right? Anything else? Yes.
May I please ask, how can we improve the attention of our japa? How can we be more attentive?
Did you ever try to be more attentive? We do have a magical formula. It's only 150 euros an ounce. Other people have tried just to become more attentive. That seems to work even better. By proper, what Krishna asked, Arjuna asked Krishna the question, Krishna said, Asamshayam mahabaho manodur nigraham chalam abhyasena tukuntiya vairagena chagriyate. It is very difficult to curb the restless mind, Arjuna, but it's possible by suitable practice, in this case, chanting clearly, attentively, feelingly as much as possible, humbly or whatever, to Krishna and Srimati Radharani, and by detachment, whatever other thoughts may come, we should just let them go. Don't pay attention to them. Neglect them. Anything else? Yes.
I want to ask you, where is the threshold between Namaparada and Namabhasa? Where does it start to be not useful and degrading and pushing you further?
Well, we could give you a whole bunch of things that you can imagine when we were chanting, but I think you could probably imagine them without my imagining them for you. But as soon as we're remembering anything besides Krishna and becoming attached to that, the memory may come. Apuryamana machala pratishtam samudram apap. You know that verse? Pravishati tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sheshanti mamnauti nakamakami. Person is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into an ocean, which is always being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace. not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. So when the thoughts come, if we just let them come and go, and instead we kind of absorb ourselves in the ocean of Krishna consciousness, then that's nam abhas. And if we become attached to the thought and follow it, that's namaparat. Now there may be different degrees of namaparat. Some may send us to the heavenly planet, some may send us to Yamaloka. Depends on what the thought is. Most of them will send us to Yamaloka nowadays. All right, thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.